So, hey, Charles, I think we're live down the groove. So, hey, good morning, everybody. Good to see you. We're with Charles Blair here, the mad scientist. He's going to talk to us about generating leads in a 2021 market. So, good morning, Charles. How are you?
Hey, William, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you allowing me to speak to your members and being a part of this community. Thank you.
Yeah, well, great. I tell you, that talking to students all the time, people in the forum and everything, it seems like generating leads in a market where they've just completely pretty much wiped out foreclosures. Nobody's getting evicted. And it makes it a little bit tough. I know, 50% of our business pre-COVID was foreclosures. So man, we're excited to have you here this morning because I know you guys out there in Baltimore are still killing it. And you've got a ton of ways. You're a marketing expert. You're going to talk to us about the best sources for still generating leads in this environment.
And I think it's more than just the market because we're actually in 6 different markets. Mm-hmm. So I can't say that we're doing as great in all the markets, but we're not really suffering to an extent where we're ready to get out.
Right.
So the key to everything, regardless if it was COVID or prior to COVID, is consistency. Yeah. And we're going to discuss about some of the different consistent tasks that you can do that are productive, because everybody can do stuff to fill up their day, but not everyone is doing stuff to fill up their day productively. And that's what we're talking about.
Exactly. Now, good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Gail, Lisa, Matt. Good to see you guys. Let's start out. Some of these folks here may not have heard of Charles. Charles, I've known you for 20 years. I met you when I first got started, so I know you've been around. But tell everybody a little bit about yourself so they know why you're the expert at marketing.
Okay, now you're making me sound so old now, William. I don't appreciate that. No problem. Like William mentioned, I've known him for about 20 years. I've been in the game for about 30 years as a full-time real estate investor. I started out as one of those Carlton Sheets disciples. And we've talked about that before. Absolutely. I was that guy that purchased that course and barely opened it up. And once I did, my whole mind began to really swell of the opportunity that real estate could invest with us regarding financial independence. Because at that time, 9th grade dropout, I dropped out of junior high school, so I have a 9th grade education. And all I had prior to discovering Carlton's course was one dead-end job after another. And when I looked at that course, it seemed like it enriched my mind, or should I say, it put a spell on my mind where I was able to really dig deep and learn something. And that was real estate investing. From that point on, I went out and sought a mentor, became a full-time investor after working with a mentor for 8 months. I did my first deal a year after that, only made $2,500, but you couldn't tell me anything. Did my second deal, my second year, I made about 4 deals. My third year, I did about maybe 8, 10 deals. By the time I got to my 4th year, I was the largest minority owner of apartment buildings in downtown Baltimore. That company was called Mount Vernon Properties, over 275 units, 35 different buildings. And then the rest have been pretty much a cakewalk. I wish it was. But the rest has been basically continuing down the path of my love of real estate investing and marketing. And that's where we are today, investing in the 6 markets that we're in.
You said that about the cakewalk. I know we talked a little bit about that before we went on today, about how people that don't ever tell you anything about the bad side of investing, you better watch out for those guys. But there are some tough days out there for sure. But I got to tell you, after working in the restaurant industry for 20 years, my worst day in real estate beats my best day and a job by far. So it's great. Oh, yeah. Hey, Kevin, Corey, John, good to see you guys on here. Hey, listen, just a tip. We're going to talk a little bit about lead sources first, but then we want to get you guys to talking with us. So Charles has promised a bonus for everybody that asks a question today about what we're talking about. So it's going to be a pretty hot little bonus there. So you guys hang out and be ready. So let's just get into it.
That's what they're going to get. Yep. They're going to get my complete 2021 virtual assistant Rolodex and outsources. This is a full 70 something pages of outsourcers and virtual assistants that you can work with in your business to do all kinds of tasks: cold calling, graphic design, hot leads, cold leads, website design, social media marketing, you name it. I got a sort of VA for you, and it's all in this. And this is going to be given to each and everyone who asks questions through this whole process we have today. My man William is going to make sure you get this.
That's right. We're going to send it to you. We're going to message you directly from the post. So make sure you ask a question, get that bonus. That's great. So let's just get into it, Charles. What should an investor be doing today? What can somebody that's having a hard time do? Right. I mean, as soon as they get off of this Facebook Live, what can they do to generate some leads?
Well, I think the first thing that each and every one of us have to do is a mental and physical assessment as to how bad we want to do this business. Because some of us treat it like a hobby. And I was one of those guys early in the business. And what I mean by treating it like a hobby, it's one of those things that you pick up a book, or you go watch a video, or you order a seminar every once in a while. Every few months you decide you want to do real estate investing. Every couple of weeks you decide you want to start making some calls. That's a hobby. Mm-hmm. That's not going to get you productive in any way, shape, or form. So if you want to be productive in this business, you have to treat it like a business. Mm-hmm. So what I mean by that, I'm going to go from the 1,000-foot view to the 100-foot view. At the 1,000-foot view, the first thing you should be doing is break down exactly what hours of the week, day, month you're going to be doing real estate investing. And you can use something as simple as a Google Calendar and just basically plot in there the hours and days that you're going to be doing real estate investing. And the most important part is this: during those days, during those hours, during those weeks, real estate investing is the only thing you can do. No watching television, no going out, none of this stuff about going to be rock star, watch videos on YouTube. It's all about your business during those hours. And then when you started that 1,000-foot view, now you're able to fill up those hours with productive tasks and activities. And we're going to talk about some of those productive tasks and activities on this call. But that's where I would start at with William in regards to putting your mind in the right frame of mind to understand that this is a business and not a hobby.
Right. I totally agree. You know, we had a post here, it's been a while back, from a guy who just came in and just talked about, I'm giving up on real estate investing. It just doesn't work. I've texted 10 or 15 people. I've made a couple of calls. I mailed 12 postcards and I haven't gotten anything. It just doesn't work. I'm out. And I mean, everybody pretty much blasted him, but you're right. It's all about consistency. You have to do the same things over and over and over to get some traction and make some things happen. That's for sure.
So let's talk about a couple of things that you can do. Right now, the two main ways in which we are generating leads is what we call inbound marketing and outbound marketing. So what do we call outbound marketing? Outbound marketing is cold calling. Outbound marketing is text message marketing. Outbound marketing is ringless voicemail. Outbound marketing is basically you going and knocking on a door. Outbound marketing is sending an email. Inbound marketing is when you have posts and people respond to those posts, such as organic traffic from search engine optimization, also such as direct mail, also such as Facebook ads, and also such as YouTube videos and Google pay-per-click. So there's sort of two main ways in which you can generate leads: outbound marketing and inbound marketing. We've generated, I think it's somewhere around, and I looked at the stats right before the call. In the last 30 days, we got a total of 47 leads from outbound marketing, and we got a total of 15 leads from inbound marketing. Mm-hmm. So not to say that one works better than the other, but the numbers will tell you what's working and where you should spend your actual dollar at.
Right. I tell you, in my years of investing, I recently had this conversation, I think, on a coaching call. about the two types of marketing, and that you need to be doing both. But inbound leads are going to be hotter leads because those people are actually coming to you. They see what you do. They see your bandit signs. They see your video. They see your magnetics. They see your ads on Facebook Marketplace or whatever, and they're taking the time to drop the dime and call you. And those are leads that are generally a lot better quality than the ones that you're going to do on the outbound.
You're absolutely correct. Because of the fact that you just mentioned, when someone is reaching out to you, they are raising their hand and saying that they need your help. As opposed to outbound marketing, you know how it is when we're making thousands of phone calls and we're getting a few hands raised. So that's the key to inbound and outbound. Inbound marketing will always be a higher conversion rate. Also, would be a more tried and tested lead source.
Mm-hmm. Apparently everybody's taking you seriously about the freebie. We're starting to really get a lot of questions in here. So one question we've got here from Mark is, which CRM do you prefer and why?
Yeah, great question, Mark. The main CRM that we're using in the 6 markets that we're in is Podio. My team, I have an actual developer that works specifically for my company, and he's designed what I think is the perfect Podio system. And we use that for our main marketing source, contact relationship management for our business. Now, we also use some smaller systems for not for the real contact relationship management, but also to integrate inside of our Podio that brings in their leads as well. But the number one system we're using for that is definitely Podio.
Okay. And Mark also asked, what's your favorite way to follow up, direct mail or text?
My favorite way to follow up is definitely text. Let me add something else on there. We have a couple of ways. I don't believe you should follow up with just one. There's about 6 different ways to reach out to someone. Now, you have to figure out what is the best way to what we call get that conversion to happen. Now, what are those 6 different ways? Of course, you have a face-to-face meeting. That's one. You also have, like you just mentioned, text message. That's 2. You also have direct mail. You also have ringless voicemail. You also have email. All of these are ways in which you could reach out and touch that person. So the question is, should I do 1? Should I do 2? Should I do 3? I'm a firm believer that you should be doing no less than at least 3, 4 of those ways, because you have to find the best approach for that person to say and respond back to you. So we do use direct mail. We just don't do direct mail every month. We usually average at around every quarter, depending on the actual lead source. It may be soon, it may be quicker than that. For example, a property that's in foreclosure, you're not going to do every quarter, but generally direct mail for us is every quarter. But the other sources, we're hitting them at least by way of 3 or 5 different ways every single lead.
Right. Okay, great. Hey, Marvin, Jonna, good to see you guys on here. Let's see. We got Tracy here. Jeff's on here with us. Okay. Oh gosh, they're talking about tuna sandwiches. What's up with that? Jeff wants to know, should you hire a VA through a service or as an independent? What's your favorite way to do that? And I think I already know.
That's a good question, because I was thinking about 8-9 years ago was when we first started working with VAs through all the different avenues, through services and also through sites like Upwork, Odesk when it used to be around, Get a Freelancer, Fiverr, OnlineJobs.ph, Craigslist, Philippine ads. So we did almost a little bit of everything. And I can't say which one is the best, because I think that there's good outsourcers in all of those particular avenues. The key is your interview process. How are you interviewing that person? What are you saying? Because when you want to hire somebody for your job, you got to be as detailed on that position as possible. You also, of course, got to ask for the normal stuff. References. What are the recent tasks and jobs that you've held? So it's not more or less of which one of those sites is best. The question you should be asking yourself is my hiring process, the way I'm interviewing these VAs or outsourcers, allowing me to find the true rock stars that can do the work that I need done?
Mhm. Okay, great. We're getting off on the VAs there a little bit. I try to hold to the marketing as much as we can. You know, Charles promised me this morning that he would do another live with me on actual just how to recruit, hire, train VAs.
Yes.
So we're going to do that in the future. Let's try to hang on to the marketing thing here this morning. You mentioned video in your marketing for real estate investors, and so why do you think video is so important to investors today?
That's an easy answer. I'm gonna give you a statistic. Almost 85% of all traffic is watched by way of video, whether it's on your phone or whether it's on the internet by way of a desktop computer or whether it's by way of an iPad or some type of tablet. 85% of all people that are on the internet is watching video. So you, as that investor, it behooves you to do videos, to make and have your actual content available for your sellers, your buyers, your renters, your wholesalers to consume. That's the number one reason. We need to go where the traffic is. And right now, and for the last few years, and where it will be in the next few, what I would call the next future of the internet, is going to be video.
Right. Okay. I agree with that. I know that we've been doing stuff with video lately, and it really makes a difference. And if you guys haven't, go check out Charles's YouTube channel. I mean, he's a video master. He does some pretty elaborate productions, which takes me to my next question. If you're a new investor and you're just getting started, you don't have a budget, you can't hire anybody to help you with that stuff, what's the best way for a new guy or gal to just get started with video and use it to help them as far as generating leads?
The great thing about technology and today's technology is the fact that almost every single cell phone has 4K video capability. And that's all you need. You can grab a $20 wired mic from Amazon, hook it up to this bad boy, grab a little stand like this one, and you can be your own video producer, your own news company, your own information service provider. That's what is one of the biggest things that the internet has allowed us as content creators to be. We can be our own TV stations. So all you need is a cell phone. Audio will always play better than video. Great audio will play better than great video. So if you grab a little wired lavalier that can go inside your cell phone for $20 on Amazon, that's all you need. The rest is just up to you creating content that people want to watch and people want to consume.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So one of the things that we said we were going to cover this morning were the 3 types of traffic that you want to generate for the hot leads, warm leads, cold leads, that sort of thing. Tell us about that and what that means and how that works.
You want to think of your traffic source as where is my low-hanging fruit? And for real estate investors, and this is really for any industry, you got cold traffic, you got warm traffic, and you have hot traffic. Cold traffic is when you're sending out a message to someone who has never heard anything from you. They don't know who you are from William. They don't know who you are from Charles. They don't know who you are from anyone. That's cold traffic, and cold traffic is going to be your most expensive dollar that you're going to spend, because now you have to nurture that person. You have to bring that person up to speed with who you are. You have to make sure that person understands that they can trust you and do business with you. That's why it's your most important, most costly traffic source. Number 2, you got warm traffic. Warm traffic is people who have consumed some of your information, but haven't done any business with you. It may be somebody that watched a video of yours, somebody that's in your Facebook group, somebody that's on Meetup, somebody that's at one of the RIAs, somebody that you've sent a postcard to and called you once. That's warm traffic. Somebody that have called you by way of direct mail, by dialing for dollars or by way of driving for dollars. That's cold traffic. Or going to to warm traffic. Now your final source is hot traffic. Hot traffic is ready to go. Hot traffic has called you up because they got a letter and now they're in foreclosure. Hot traffic has done business with you and they've referred somebody else to do business with you. Hot traffic will be your most profitable way to do business and make money, but most importantly, stay in business in this industry that we're in, or any industry regarding marketing.
Right. So what I hear you saying is basically what, I've thought was true for years. And that's that you need to have multiple ways of generating leads going at all time. You can't just do one thing and think that's probably going to be enough. You need to have several sources of outbound. Yes. You need to have numerous sources of inbound. And you just do all of those things on a consistent basis. And that's what I've tried to tell people is that it's like bandit signs, and you hear this all the time. Bandit signs don't work. Bandit signs don't work. That's old, tired marketing. But I can go out and drive for 1 mile in my city and see 1,000 bandit signs, not just we buy houses, lose 100 pounds in the next 10 days. Make money online, everything else. They wouldn't be there if they weren't working.
I was about to say that. Where there's use, there's opportunities.
Right.
So where you see people using them, you better believe if they wasn't using them, they would be working. Right. So that's the key to these strategies. And I tell everyone who I speak with about marketing that you should be doing at a very minimum 4 to 5, 6, 7 different marketing strategies every month, month after month after month. That's the only way you're going to be able to start generating the volume, the leads that you want. Because here's the reason why. When market shifts and change, when people's attitudes shift and change, when COVID came and still here, there's so many different ways, strategies that was useless. Going to knocking on doors, visiting people at their properties and so on. So if you didn't have multiple ways in order to do your marketing campaigns, a lot of investors just fell to the wayside. Right. If you are only doing one thing, and I'm not going to knock the fact that some people only do wholesaling and some people only doing rehabbing and some people only do buy and hold. I'm not going to knock that because you should be an expert of your strategy of choice. But one of my mentors taught me that you should have multiple streams of income, multiple ways of making money. And that was a friend of mine who passed away years ago. You know what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah.
What's his name?
Exactly. I'm sorry. What was that? Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So the key that I'm trying to really express is that you have to be that guy to jump out there and really take action, but also master your marketing strategies. You're not an investor, you are a marketer. Once you become a marketer, then become a transaction engineer. My favorite formula is action plus offers equal profit. And that's something that Jack Miller taught me years ago.
Right.
That when you have the right opportunities out there and you're basically putting enough action out there, you will begin to have offers that you will be able to start generating revenue from.
Right. But the key is consistency. Even if you're doing if you got a small marketing budget, let's say you can only afford to spend $100 a month, you segment that into X number of outbound and X number of inbound, and you do it consistently month after month after month.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Hey, Mike, good to see you on here. Mike wants to know, how did you decide what 6 markets that you went into?
That's a great question, Mike, because there's 2 ways of investing virtually. One of which is to put up a team in another market, have boots on the ground, maybe even have a brick and mortar business in another market. That's one way of doing it. The way we decided to do it was to look at what we are best at in our company. And really what we are best and what my company is, Chucky Buy Lucky Houses, what really makes us and keep us away from the competition is our marketing. So what we do is we partner with strategic partners in other markets. We do all the marketing in those markets, generate the leads, then send them to our partners, and we split everything 50-50. Now, that's our way of doing it. Not everyone can do that because you really have to have a strong background when it comes to marketing. But to me, if you know the marketing game, you will never be broke. That's the way that we are investing in the 6 markets that we're in. We've decided which markets to go to based on how hot those areas are. And we just create strategic partners in those areas. And then we generate leads in those areas and send them to our strategic partners.
Right. Which takes us to Tammy. Hey, Tammy, good to see you here. How much do you spend in outbound marketing?
Oh, wow. I think the last number my wife gave me, it was something like, if we're talking about pay-per-click, Facebook, direct mail, we're talking about on average, I think between 8 and 10,000 a month.
Okay, but you guys are closing how many deals a month too?
We close between 10 and 15 deals a month.
Okay, so is it worth spending $8,000 to $10,000 for that? Heck yeah. So Corey wants to know, for outbound marketing, what group of motivated sellers are you targeting?
There you go, Corey. That's the meat.
The most success with, right?
That's the meat. I'm going to give you the last 30 days because one of the things that I recommend everyone do is to do an audit of your lead generation, your KPI every month. And in the last 30 days, and I actually pulled it up right here on the screen, our main 3 sources have been tired landlords, vacant leads, and probate. So those have been the 3 main lead generators for us in the last 30 days.
People that aren't getting paid from their COVID tenants and just want to get out of it.
Let me tell you, William, I think that there's no doubt in my mind that realm of motivation is going to be around for 6-12 months to come, because the tired landlords are individuals that is tired of not being able to collect rent. You got a moratorium on foreclosures. You got this going on and that going on. So they will be around for a while. Then you're going to have once the moratoriums are lifted, then you're going to have the foreclosures. Then you're going to have the actual owners, or should I say the people who've purchased properties a year ago, 2 years ago, and they've gotten so much situation that they're going to just want to get rid of their properties. So subject twos, wraparound mortgages, lease options to buy. It's going to be a feeding frenzy, in my opinion, for the next 18 months to 2 years.
Oh, that's just giving me a tingle all over.
Oh, yeah. I see that red in your cheek. I see it.
That's right. Hey, Kevin. Kevin wants to know if you're familiar with dub video text messaging.
I don't think I am. I don't recall anything about dub video text messaging at all.
Okay. Hey, John. John wants to know, what are you using to generate your outbound leads? What are your best sources for that?
Well, our outbound leads are coming from pay-per-click. We're talking about YouTube video ads, and we're also talking about direct mail. Those are probably the 3. One more, retargeting. If you are not doing retargeting in your business, you are missing a huge opportunity. Just imagine where you have the seller who has reached out to you from whatever strategy you have. And we're talking about the sellers that have said no to your offer. These are sellers we're talking about. You have a number, you have a telephone number, you have an address, you have an email, you have all this information. You can now take that information and directly go after that person by way of Facebook ads and by way of Google ads retargeting. And what does that mean? You can have that person see hey, I know you didn't want to sell a month ago, 2 months ago. If you're interested in selling, hit my company up. We definitely want to speak with you. And it will follow them all over the internet for the next 3, 6, 9 months until they basically delete the cookies out of their machine. But that's exactly one of the number 1 sources that you can do that doesn't cost a lot of money. but it does require you to generate a list of people to work with that are motivated. And we do that only with the people who have said no to our offers, but we want to go after them 2, 3, 6, 9 months down the road.
Okay. All right. Hey, Derek, good to see you. Jonah, good to see you on here this morning. See you're up bright and early today. Let's see. We've got another question. Mary wants to know, on a limited budget, should I be getting a list or going after organic leads?
Well, I'm going to give you a budget of $300. And let's say that's your budget, $300. I definitely believe that $300 outbound wise is not going to go very far. I just know that the cost that actual marketing strategy is going to be very small. However, when it comes to the actual approach that you can take, there are ways in which you could really execute it. And here's what I mean by that. $300 now. PropStream. Cost of PropStream costs $97 a month. You can get 10,000 leads with PropStream. And those 10,000 leads will allow you to go after tired landlords, zombie properties, absentee owners, multifamily properties, and so on. So that's 10,000 leads right there. $97. Use $59 for your skip tracing. You're going to use Mojo skip tracing for that. So now you spent $157 right now for your actual lead source spending right now. So you spent 157 of that 300. Now with your Mojo skip tracing, you could do unlimited skip tracing. Now it's not going to be the best, but we're talking about when you're working with a small budget, what you can use. Now, number 3, you can also use a company called REI Reply. REI Reply will allow you to do ringless voice message. It will allow you to do text message marketing. It will allow you to do email marketing. It will allow you to, it will give you a website. Now you just spent a total of about $200 and you still have $100 left over to do a couple of mail campaigns using a company called Print Genie. So that's what you can do with $300 that could really accelerate your growth when it comes to real estate investing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And let me just, while we're talking about this, give you guys a little information here. If you have a low budget, if you're broke, whatever, we've all been there. Nicholas Nick at leadminingpros.com. All you have to do is use the code sub2deals, and he will give you a list. You choose the list. He'll pull the list for you and skip trace them. That's 500 leads pulled and skip traced for $0. It's absolutely free if you use the code sub2deals.
And
so
we all love free.
Yep. Get over there to leadminingpros.com and get that list pulled and use the code sub2deals. When you check out, it's a $60 cost. I mean, he sells that. It's 500 leads pulled and skipped. $60, you're going to get it for free. So get over there and get it. That'll help you get started with no money. Noel says, no leads left behind, even old leads. You constantly, you're doing the Ron LeGrand. You're going to market to those people until they sell, die, tell you to get lost.
And I always say, even after they die, you go after them in probate. So it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Okay. JC asks, are you doing eviction leads or FSBO leads? Which are better if you are?
It's not a product of which are better. The key is motivation. Eviction leads have motivation, but depending on where you're at in that process, what I mean by that is how motivated is that landlord? Is they ready to give up on that property because they're unable to evict right now, or is they in a jurisdiction where they can evict? So that's what I would go in regards to which is better, which is not. But definitely both of them work, and we've seen results from both of them. So if I was you, I wouldn't choose one or the other. I would choose both. Now it's just a matter of which tool or which courthouse or which opportunity are you going to use in order to do both.
Right. And as far as FSBOs go, listen, Zillow, Craigslist, wherever, those 2 web pages and a phone are free. Pick up the phone. If you don't have any money, you can do that all day long. Okay, so Mark asked again, you talked about business versus hobby. What kind of minimum budget would you say you would need if you're serious about this business and you're getting back in the game? This budget would include, I'm going to get down there to see that, including VA, marketing, CRM.
Oh, now you're including a VA.
Yeah.
Okay, because I gave you the budget for $300 a month. That's the minimum you need if you want to be the person who wear all the hats. If you want to have somebody actually put on some of those hats and help you when it comes to saving time, because it's all about time versus money, then you want to have a budget of somewhere around $800 to $1,000 a month if you're talking about bringing in VAs. We've got VAs. In fact, my project managers looked at some actual applications over the last couple of days from VAs that's willing to go for $3.75 an hour. So the key isn't where or which you should do. I'm a firm believer in outsourcing all the minimal stuff, outsourcing all the time-consuming stuff, and only working on the most productive stuff that's going to allow you to generate money in your business. But not everyone has the budget to do that. So if you used to say, okay, if I have the budget to do it, $800 to $1,000. If you don't have the budget to do it, you can get leads and start generating income for as little as $300 a month.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, Dora, good to see you. She said, thanks. Great info, Charles and William. Appreciate you being on here today. Tim says, regarding people on the do not call list, am I overthinking this? I seem to be really hesitant in calling because of that. Let me just say, we did a podcast with a big robocall, Doc Compton, several weeks ago. And he was a little hesitant to say, yes, you can. But he did tell me, a one-off call is not going to get you in trouble. If you're making a call because, if somebody has got their property listed for sale, you're absolutely not going to be in any trouble. They raised their hand and said they want to sell the house. As far as a mass texting, even a one-off text, as I understand it, if they don't respond or they say stop, it's not going to get you in trouble. What do you think about that, Charles?
Oh, I agree with you 100%. I'm not going to say you're overthinking it, because it's all about how you feel about doing that morally. So I'm not going to say you're overthinking it, but there are opportunities out there where you can screen the DNC list and say no calls going out that's on the DNC and still find opportunities. Do we do it? No. But we are, for lack of a better word, we are very aggressive with our marketing. However, when the person says, take me off, we take them off.
Right.
So it's all about how comfortable you feel about that particular strategy. As long as it won't put a pinstripe on me and have me locked up, I'm going to do it. So those are the ways in which we handle our business and what we're doing.
Right. Okay. So Mark asked, what's the best way to learn video marketing?
The best way to learn video marketing is to just get out there and do it. Just like real estate investing. A lot of people want to be that consumption of information. I had one person tell me last week that they've been studying real estate for a year and now they're ready to start. What? Come on. So the point I'm trying to make, there are a boatload of ways in which you can do marketing with video on YouTube. I mean, there's a bunch of channels out there that is geared towards that. My main thing that I would tell you, the key to video marketing is twofold. It's keyword research and quality content. If you're trying to drive organic traffic, then it's keyword research and quality content. But if all you care about is what we call the outbound part of it, it's all about quality content. Know what you're talking about. Have something that the person wants to hear, wants to see, and make sure you're doing it and producing it in a good enough fashion. Like I mentioned, good video is good, but audio should be great. So make sure your audio is stellar, because that's where people will turn you off if they don't understand the audio. But that's the key to, in my opinion, to marketing with video.
Yeah. John wants to know, what are the best ways to generate inbound marketing?
For us, The best way have been our website, Chucky Buy Lucky Houses, landing page optimization, Chucky pays more, Chucky sells more, also by way of direct mail. We've gotten now let me add one more I forgot to add, retargeting. So those have been the 5 main ways for us to get inbound marketing.
Okay. Mark says everybody seems to be doing things through their smartphone. What's the best way to make sure that the video works on a smartphone, and what screen size should it be?
Well, it doesn't matter what screen size the phone is, as long as you're able to see yourself and see exactly how you're going to be presented to that person that's watching it. Mainly, the key is the quality of the video. I think 4K quality is standard, although on some websites, they don't even show 4K. It's basically HD, high definition. So as long as you got good quality video, most cameras are on your phone is 4K. That's fine. That's good enough.
Okay. All right. Marvin says he does small property inspections and runs across vacant FSBOs on a regular basis. He wants to reach out to these people. What skip tracing tool do you recommend? I think pretty much all skip tracers. I mean, some are going to give you better results than others. Right. Nicholas Nick, we mentioned him. He's pretty low cost, 7 cents a skip. That's about the cheapest out there. I have seen a couple recently that said they were less expensive. I don't know. Nick's been around a good while. What do you think about that, Charles?
There's a couple of them out there. I like TLO. For us, TLO has been the best when we talk about the highest accuracy, but it's expensive. I like, but my cheapo, I like Mojo Sells. It's only $59 a month, but it's unlimited. When you're doing volume, it could, especially if you're working on a budget, it could be a game changer. Because I know a lot of investors who are crushing it with only using Mojo Sells at $59 a month unlimited. I like Ben Verified. If you're really on a small budget and you're doing one-off skip tracing, Ben Verified is very good.
Okay. Mark says, what are your top 3 favorite sources of traffic?
My top, well, like I mentioned earlier, my sources will change with the lead generation each month because we audit our actual business every month. So our top 3 sources for the last month has been tired landlords, vacant, and probate. Now, does that mean it's going to be the same way next month? I can't say that. Or should I say this month? So I don't have a favorite. That's why I say your number should tell you where you should spend your marketing dollar at each month. Your audit of your actual results should tell you that. And you should be doing at least, as I mentioned before, 4, 5, 6 different marketing strategies every month. Right. Now, if you were to say what has been consistent for us, probate has been extremely consistent. Tired landlords have been very consistent. Retargeting has been very consistent. What else? Driving for dollars have been very consistent. Low equity, short-term ownership has been very consistent for creative financing deals. So those are the ones that's been very consistent for us.
Yeah. Okay. And he mentioned probate. We're hearing a lot about that lately. For several different reasons. I did a podcast with Sharon Vornholt yesterday, and she shared something with me I hadn't even thought about, and that was that there's going to be in the next 12 to 18 months a big surge of probate cases because all the courthouses have been shut down, and it's really slowed the probate process. So there's going to be just a tremendous amount of probate deals out there. And I hadn't even thought about that. We all know the courthouses have been shut down. But so that was an idea. And guys, we're going to release that podcast in a few weeks. But if you're in the coaching group, I made a post. Sharon is going to do a private training session with my coaching students here in the next couple of weeks. So you guys be ready for that as well. Jonna wants to know, what do you have a preference as far as what type? You talked about a mic to use for videotaping or talking on the phone, a lavalier or something. You talked about a $24 one. Have you got a specific model that's economical that you use?
Yeah, I can get you the name of that model, the one that's only $20. I can't remember the actual model name, but I can get it to William and have him give it to you guys. No problem at all. Okay. Now, in regards to the mic that we use for videos, It's this little bad boy right here. It's called the Rode Wireless Go. This is what we use for our videos when we're out in the field, or even sometimes when I'm in my home office outside of this room. Right. When I'm doing something in front of a computer, you're looking at the mic that we use. This is called a Yeti. So we use this mic when we're doing it on a stationary position with a boom arm. So it's going to either be that $20 mic that you guys can easily get, or the Rode Wireless Go, or the Yeti microphone.
Okay. Hey, Karen, good to see you. She wants to know if you like using investor websites better to bring in leads, or pay-per-click ads.
It's not, I'm going to go back to the word as far as better. It's a matter of quality and quantity for me. Both of them work. Now, when you say investor website, are you talking about search engine optimization, or are you talking about some other way of using the investor website? Because search engine optimization can take a while to make that happen. I mean, we've had situations where we try to optimize things and it will be 6 to 9 months later before it will show up on the first page. But when you're talking about pay per click, you're talking about instant gratification. Depending on your keyword research and depending on your marketing budget per month, pay per click, cost per action, you could get ranked in, or should I say, you can start generating leads in a matter of weeks. So those aren't quite apples to apples, but I know the direction you're talking about.
Right. I think what they were talking about was as far as setting up a website, whether it's your own WordPress or one of the investor website packages, or just buying pay-per-click. And I know what you're saying. If you're willing to put out the money there, they'll put you at the top instantly, where that SEO is a process for sure. Mark wants to know if you're willing to share what your 6 markets are.
Maryland, Ohio, Jacksonville, Washington, D.C., Virginia. Okay. And Houston, I'm sorry.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So what's your best leads per deal source? How many leads does it take to get a deal? I know it varies per market. That's Matt's question.
It does, but I have a general, what I would call a general equation. And this is if you're doing it to a proper audience. For every 1,000 of something, you should get 0.5 to 2.5 deals. When we're talking about cold calling, for every 50 cold call, I mean by cold call, I'm talking about contacts where you're actually talking to the seller, not a drop call, not a person who is not the seller, not a wrong number. For every 50 people who you talk to who actually is the seller and they want to sell, you should be setting up 10 appointments. For every 10 appointments, you should be getting at least 3 deals under contract. For every 3 deals under contract, you should be closing at least one of those deals.
Okay, good numbers. Hey, Doug, tell us more on video marketing. What platform do you use?
For video marketing, we're basically doing old school. We're using YouTube for the most part. And we're aggregating our YouTube video through a whole bunch of other sources. We're putting it on Facebook. We're putting it on Instagram. We're putting it on TikTok. We're putting it on Twitter. We're putting it on LinkedIn. So we do a lot of aggregation strategy. I have a VA that actually takes that one 50-minute video, because some of my videos are 50 minutes. Some of them are 15 minutes. I have a VA to take that one video and make hundreds of pieces of content. And then he takes that content and pushes it all over to all the different social sites, and then I'll make micro content out of it that drives directly back to the YouTube video.
I think you covered the microphones. Gail asked about microphones and camera. So what camera are you usually using? Your phone?
Okay, sometimes we use my phone. I got the iPhone 11. We also, camera-wise, I've also used this bad boy here. This is the Canon M50 Mark II. And then I also have a, where are you at? Hold on a second. I also have a GoPro. So it depends on the situation for which we're doing the video for. It's going to be one of those 3.
Okay. All right. John wants to know where you're getting your tired landlord list.
Right from PropStream.
Right.
As a matter of fact, almost 60 to 70% of our list that we use come from PropStream.
PropStream's great, guys. You need to get it. PropStream's great. Use our link, save a couple of bucks a month, get 7-day free trial. Mark says, how long on average is it taking you from the time you contract a probate lead until you're able to close?
That's a good question, Mark, because probates are one of the longest closing sources that we use, short of short sales, because we do those as well. Right. So on average, we're looking at probably, if I had to throw a number out on the top of my head, I would say probably anywhere from 45 to 5-6 months, provided it's not on the initial call. And let me break down some numbers for you. And this is why follow-up is so important. 85% of the people you talk to will not do business with you on that first call. 85%. That first call can only hope to generate at least 15% conversion. And that's on a good day, because you have to be super targeted with your motivation. So when you have a number that says 85% will not do a deal with you when you talk to them, or whatever marketing touch they get from that first engagement, it tells you I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12, 18 months of engagement to those sources. That's the key. If anything you take away from this conversation, it should be the fact that you have to follow up, follow up, follow up.
Yep, I agree. CRM, super important. And that's from a guy who for 19, 20 years used a yellow pad for follow-up. But it's just so simple now. You know, you talk to that person that's not going to do business with you today, and you say, hey, I get it. You want to hold out for a cash sale. I totally understand. Do you mind if I'm your plan B if things don't work out? Can I check back in with you from time to time? Virtually everybody you speak to is going to say, sure. Am I right? Am I right, Charles? Mm-hmm. It's so rare to have somebody say, no, I don't want to talk to you again. It just doesn't happen. Put them in that follow-up system. It doesn't matter who you use. If you use Black Book, REI Reply, follow-up, it doesn't matter who you use something that's going to reach out to those people again and again. So we've got Steve here. Hey, Steve, how do you get the probate leads currently?
Currently, I have a good friend of mine who provide them for the Maryland, DC, Virginia area. He gives me all my leads for probate. That's where my number one source is for probate right now.
Okay. Kevin, love his energy and passion. Isn't that the truth, man? Every time I talk to Charles, he's on camera, he's in his studio there, and he's waving his arms around and talking. It's great.
That's me. That's how I got the name The Mad Scientist. It's all because of all of this, and it's who I am. I love talking about this stuff. I mean, I married my wife because she loved to hear me talk about it. Right. So, I mean, I love talking about real estate investing and being in the business.
I totally agree. Oh, wow. Mark, what's a good way to learn Facebook retargeting?
There's a couple of good people out there that have stuff on Facebook retargeting. One of them is a good friend of mine, a gentleman by the name of Sam Bell. Look up anything that Sam Bell has. He was in a mastermind that we were in years ago in Florida, actually about 2 years ago. And this was really a top-notch $1 million mastermind where it was the best of the best in different marketing industries. And there's no doubt in my mind that Sam Bell is that guy. And he also offers retargeting programs and stuff that's not very expensive. That's another reason why I like Sam. He's underneath of my philosophy. Give as much of away as you can. As long as it doesn't hurt you, give it away.
Hey, Gail asked about the company to do the mailing. Gail, that was Print Genie, and I'm actually working with Andy right now trying to set a deal for sub-2 deal students. So hang on with that. We'll be out with that pretty soon. He's trying to work out a really good deal for the students.
I'll give you guys another lead source that very few people have heard of, and this is something that I started using probably about maybe 9 months ago. And we've gotten 3 deals from it, which is not bad since I've only spent $50. So think about that. That source is called List Shack. Now, List Shack is a list broker, and they will sell you a list that you could formulate for $50 a month and give you 50,000 leads. You heard me right. 50,000 leads with the telephone numbers.
Oh.
Now,
so they're basically already skip traced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, here's the lead. It's only one source, though, that you want to use with them. That's people that own real estate in your targeted zip code that have low credit scores. So that's the list. You do not have to. And here's the secret strategy. Don't sign up for multiple months. With 1 month membership, you could pull 50,000. That's all you need for the year. And it gives you the telephone number. So sign up for 1 month, pull your 50,000, cancel your subscription. That's a sub 2 golden nugget that I'm giving you guys.
That's for
I'm gonna
sure.
give you a second one. A second one. This site is called Content Fries. ContentFries.com. Content Fries will allow you to take one video. You remember I talked about that 50-minute video? It will allow you to take that one video and make 100 short videos out of it for a cost of only $39 a month. And you can upload unlimited videos. So think about this, and this is your strategy. Create a video, a long form video, put it up, upload it to Content Fries. It will chop the video up for you automatically, and you could edit and so on. It will also allow you to add, and you know how you add those captions underneath the video? Mm-hmm. It would also allow you to add captions underneath the video for that same price. Take that video and have your VA take that video and put it in all the different social sites I mentioned earlier. Then take the same video, go to Fiverr and extrapolate the audio, and take the audio and put it in all kinds of all types of podcast types and recording sites for audio. Then take the actual verbiage out of the actual video, meaning the transcript, and create articles out of that and create a press release out of it and so on. That's how you get your message, get your brand out there and start generating that organic traffic, what we call creating a silo presence online.
Mm. Okay. What was that first website again?
List Shack.
List Shack. Okay. And that's great. That's great information right there. Okay. So what have we got? Replay. Yes, Mary, that's going to be up here. You'll be able to, I guess, stay as long as it stays on Facebook. So, yep. Okay. What have we got? We're running low on time, Charles. We got a ton of questions. You have to go, or you got a few minutes?
I got a few minutes. Sure.
Okay. Okay. Kevin asked, if you do direct mail, how many times do you target the same list before you move on?
Well, that's a good question. We used to do direct mail every month about 12, 16 months ago. We changed our model for every quarter. Generally, we're doing it for about 18 months. So every quarter, we're talking about touching the person at least 6 to 7 times for us. Our other campaigns will last just as long, 12 to 18 months.
All righty. Yes, there will be a replay. Do you separate out each market on your website? Do you have separate websites for each market, or you send them all to the same thing?
The landing page strategy I was talking about was other people's marketing. Mm-hmm. We use a page, for example, Chucky Pays More. Is our page for when we're in hot markets. Mm-hmm. We'll use that strategy to generate leads from wholesalers and generate leads from bird doggers and have them send us opportunities, and we'll buy those properties from them or wholesale the deals, whatever. And that's the key when you're in hot markets. Don't spend all your dollar trying to saturate that market, because your pockets is not going to be deep enough. use other people's marketing and drive their traffic or drive them to come to your actual landing pages to send the leads to you. You just be a conduit for their deals.
Okay. All right, John. Yes, that's correct. RODE, Road. That is how you spell that, that mic. That's true. When you use the lavalier mic, and when do you use the Rode Wireless Go? When do you decide which one to use, Charles?
We don't use the lavalier mic anymore because we graduated from that. Okay. If you're just starting out, I would recommend using the lavalier because it's a low entry point and it gives you great quality.
Right.
But for now, what we use now strictly altogether is the actual Rode Wireless Go.
What does that thing run?
The Rode Wireless Go right now is $199, and they have a Rode Wireless Go 2 that's actually 2 mics for $299, built off of one receiver. So you'll get 2 actual mics and 1 receiver for $299.
Right. Rini asked, 0.5 return on 1,000 seems very low.
But it would be if you would be using the correct number. It's 0.5 to 2.5 deals.
Okay.
Now think in terms of a deal being a $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 payday, and you do 2.5 of those deals. It's a no-brainer.
Yep. Matt asked, how often do you follow up on the same list? I think that's probably going to depend on the list, isn't it, Charles?
Well, like I mentioned, we continue to follow up 12 months, 18 months down the road. Now, the exception to that is, like you just mentioned, person in pre-foreclosure. It's a limited time frame.
Right.
So that lead is not going to be there 12 months, 18 months down the road.
Right.
So it would be a product of the list if we're talking about pre-foreclosures or auction properties.
Right. And just to confirm, Content Fries, that is the website for cutting up the video for $39 a month.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So John asked, how do you know their credit is bad? I think he's referring to the List Shack list.
That's the actual broker who's providing you that information. They are providing you the information of people who have bad credit because they get it directly from sources that can actually aggregate that information.
Okay. All right. Charles, you rock. Absolutely. He does, doesn't he? Thanks, John. Appreciate that. Okay. All right. I think we made it to the end, so we didn't have to go over very far. Hey, guys, appreciate Charles being here. Thank you so much, man. You got a ton of information today and some great ideas to generate leads. We thank you. Thank you guys for being on today. And remember, we'll be on every Thursday now. We'll be on Facebook Live. You guys know that scares me, but hey. But again, Charles, thanks for being here. Charles is going to come back and talk to us about VAs, hiring acquisition people, VAs to do stuff for you and all that stuff. We're going to work the date out, and he'll be back to do that. So appreciate it. And we'll talk to you next time. Have a great day.
Thank you, my friend. And thank you, guys.